Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. Welcome to Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you exclusive breaking news, breaking the rumors and innuendo, previewing the latest shows, and reviewing them afterwards every Saturday on Castbox and YouTube. I'm James J. As always, the heart and soul of Wrestling with Coleco Yachts.
Still hungover from Turkey Day because I was lit as hell, and plus, my Falcons lost, so I had a lot to drink for. But hope everybody had a good Turkey Day. Hope you had a good Turkey Day.
And it is a great day for wrestling. Not too good of a day for Mitch Mayhem and Scooter Dust, as Mitch is MIA and Scooter is KID. KIA.
Killed in action.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Scooter. And I don't know, rumor and innuendo surrounding it is Rey Mysterio was in New York at that time. I'm just putting that out there.
Oh man. So Ray caught up with him. Okay.
Yeah.
I see where this is going. That's
But
what
again,
happens, man. Vatos will come after you, man. Vatos will come after you.
oh yeah. It's because he was poking the bear. He was poking Corey Graves.
Yeah. Can't poke too hard, and then you got to back the hell up off.
Oh yeah. Again, it's a great day for wrestling, and it's a great day for Stu Bennett, who will be replacing Jim Cornette on commentary, starting with Into the Fire, coming up not this week, but next week. Well, actually, yes,
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah, and that's crazy because, I was sitting there. I was listening to some old stuff from Jim Cornette stuff, and it was crazy because I had some videos from '91, some USWA tapes that I was watching earlier today, and some of the stuff he was saying, it was not too far off from what he was saying now. I mean, not too blatantly, but but hold on.
So,
Well, yeah. Go ahead.
no, continue about Stu. What are your thoughts on
Yeah,
his
it's weird.
commentary?
Well, still will be a welcome addition, but it's crazy like how like I was saying when I was watching some USWA tape from back in '91, '92, and his style hasn't changed. I mean, it's not like I just think that he used that comment in poor taste, but everything else was pretty good on. I just feel like sometimes like cancel culture can kill stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just wish that if he had a like said, you know what, my bad. It was poor in taste. I wasn't meaning it that way. Little stuff like that. Because it's crazy how like announcers are getting in trouble. Because it's even in football when like what the one guy from the Niners, he got suspended over saying something crazy about Lamar Jackson. So yeah, it's getting nuts. It's getting nuts in here when it comes to commentary. But with subtraction becomes addition, and Stu gets to make the most of it. I mean, he is a good mouthpiece.
Well, what I was hearing was like half of the people are like NWA is going to be ruined now, and the other half is like, what's the problem? Um, like he hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah, the guys that are still in 1993 are like, what's the difference? And the guys that are in 2019 are like, what the hell? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's one of those things. But even with that, he still has to like learn how to adapt with the times. So yeah.
Well,
So he's still, you know, he's got to know better.
it kind of seems like Stu is more of a trope, isn't more of a throwback. Obviously, Jim Cornette is synonymous with the 70s and 80s wrestling. So it's going to be
Right.
interesting to see if NWA continues to have that kind of feel going further with Stu.
Well, I'm pretty sure they'll script some stuff for him, but when you look at like the landscape of the free agency when it comes to announcers, it ain't that many that are like left. You know what I mean? Like Jim Ross is sewed up, Tony
But
Schiavone's sewed up, um, and they're either with other companies or dead and gone. So it's kind of like they can only work. They're just working with what they got, and you know, make the best of it.
speaking of announcers, Dio Man is not continuing on the Raw commentators team. And Samoa Joe will be continuing doing commentary until he gets cleared to wrestle again.
Well, he's been good on backstage, so I mean, but then again, Samoa Joe's one of those guys that are good at everything. Like that, it doesn't surprise me that he's good at commentating.
Oh yeah,
'Cause so uh, I think the role that he had in backstage, WWE backstage, had a role in it. So you know, but that's good for him. Dion, man, Dio,
Dio.
but I think he's supposed to be going back to the ring soon. He's trying to. I don't know if that's part of the storyline, like of him trying to get at Brock or what. But the thing is, he's supposed to be going back to the ring.
You know, I honestly don't know. It seemed like shout out to Coleco's son. It kind of seemed like he wasn't getting over on commentary the few times that I actually did hear him.
I
Where
mean,
Samoa Joe kind of seems like he clicks with Laura and Joseph. It kind of seems like it's three different voices. Where with Dio, it kind of seemed like it was the same voice.
yeah, I mean, I think he was supposed to be like the modern Byron Saxton in a sense, but if you could call it that. But hell, I
No,
couldn't tell you. And that's another guy that's gone that I haven't seen of late, Byron Saxton.
he actually just did a commentary for the Starcade, which we'll be covering a little later.
Yeah, I know, but usually like he's on one of those bigger shows, so that was my thought. That's how I was thinking about.
And maybe I think it's too late to be covering in long form NXT Takeover War Games and WWE Survivor Series. We actually covered those shows on the remix with live commentary with Scooter Dust, God rest his soul. Uh, and but we haven't had a chance to actually talk about it yet. So, what was your thoughts on NXT Takeover?
uh, honestly, because everyone was like, "Yo, it's only like a couple matches," but the couple matches mattered, yo. Um, the women's takeover, the war games, that was as eloquently done as I've seen any women's match, period. Because you know how women, when it comes to women matches, and sometimes it could get hokey when it comes to weaponry and, violence. And they picked the right group of girls that were willing to like lay their bodies on the line, which to me was just phenomenal, phenomenal. And the Dakota Kai turn, we all saw it coming, but the way that it happened, it was just more shocking than most. And then Of course, the men's takeover match was really good. Adam Cole didn't die. They got a shot of his wife in the crowd.
I was just going to say, despite Britt Baker's concern.
Yeah, despite her concern, and spoiler, AEW trying to mimic it later.
Oh, I
But
loved that. I loved that.
it's a little different. To me, the only reason I say that is because everyone knows that's Mrs. Cole. So you can see like the look on her face from AEW versus the look on her face from Takeover. It's two totally different concerns.
Oh,
Like,
definitely. It was just trying to
but
mean themselves.
I know, but to me that emotion was raw. When she looked at him like, yo, we might end up going to fucking, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, it was, to me, I guess it was more personal the way that she was the look, because the look is the personal part. But overall, I mean, takeover has never been a bad takeover, so that's never in question. And Survivor Series was really good. I got to check it out. Um, to me, NXT winning, that just shows you. I mean, we kind of figured that was the case, but
Not necessarily.
it.
I thought it may be another
I,
Raw blowout again.
nah, because they gotta make it even now. It's another. It's if it was no AEW, then that could have been the case. But the point is to get people to get into that show on Wednesday, because everyone knows Mondays and Fridays, those things been there for damn near 10, 20 years each. So, Daddy, look. Yeah, they've been there like 20, 30 years, respectively. So to get NXT on the map, they had to have done it. And the way that they did it was really good, because it was more of a, instead of like a dominant, someone being dominant, it was more of like a shit can happen like on one night, like on any given day, anybody could get beat, which helps both brands. No, Daddy,
And,
no.
on the actual show, Mitch and Scooter was more like, didn't necessarily enjoy Survivor Series that much, but I'm a huge mark for Survivor Series, and I didn't think that it was necessarily bad. I thought it wasn't one of the worst ones, and it wasn't one of the best ones either. It was kind of in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, every year is not going to hit a home run, They're just doing the best that they can, and then we react. So, I mean, that's just going to be true for every show. But then again, I'm also a believer in it's in the eye of the beholder. So, what's bad to you could be good for somebody else.
Right. And speaking of all of that, and we've been talking about commentary. Uh, Corey Graves said some disparaging things about Mauro Ronaldo that wasn't very nice, and kind of send Ronaldo into a type of spiral. Thankfully he's better now, but come on, Corey, really you have to pick on him?
I think it was like him trying to get the announcers into the realm of the competition, and the problem is that like people just disregard Mauro's mental health in this part. So,
I feel like
and
it
and that
was malicious, honestly. With JBL, I think it was a totally different case, but I feel with Corey Graves, I felt it was malicious in my view.
uh, I mean, I could see it that way, but to me, I also see it where it's not like he said it once, and it's not like he was piling on it. You know what I mean? Like JBL to me seemed more intentional because it was a recurring theme. You know what I'm saying? It's not like Corey Graves was picking on him since uh what's that show? Hell in a Cell or something, or the Arabia show heading up to it and, doing the friendly banner. Uh but I can see your point.
Yeah. And AEW is bringing back Bass at the Beach. What are your thoughts on that?
Uh that's good for the hardcore fans. But what is going to be good for the casual fans? Because no one that's not, because no one that I know of that's a casual fan would think, oh yeah, Bash at the Beach,
But
So
right now, AEW really doesn't have casual fans.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the problem, and I think that's the problem with, and I keep saying that for both shows on Wednesday. They're both catering to a core audience. They're just basically fighting for the leftovers of a core audience. Um, the casual fans are the ones that are watching on Mondays and Fridays, and they're not going to go anywhere. That's why I was like, okay, AEW did what they did to have a set there for a core audience, but I mean, I mean, I guess I'll give them time to see if they can build it because it's only a couple months old. But to me, I mean, yeah, their war is good for the wrestling fan, but for the casual fan, they don't give a damn, you know.
What I'm kind of feeling is AEW is kind of emulating a dead brand in WCW. They're rehashing old shit that didn't necessarily work for WCW.
Stop it.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, true. I get that part, but they can't sit there and tell me that they're going to be different and they're bringing up old ass names.
right. Like with, I think I would because some people might just call it nostalgic, but I think that's where NWA comes in because that is the perfect example of nostalgia. Is the NWA.
True.
AEW is just rehashing old shit that did not work for a dead company.
Yeah, and a casual wrestling fan is not gonna remember WCW like that. They'll remember Ric Flair. They'll remember a couple people, but they won't remember WCW. I'm not. I could be wrong about that because WCW really didn't peak until '95. I want to say, like when the NWO popped off. That was when it was like at its peak
Yeah,
for casual fans, which was like the New World Order and stuff like that. But they're not going to remember, the Dean Malenko Four Horsemen, the Mongol McMichael Four Horse. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I get what you're saying, and yeah, Power is more nostalgic than anything. Uh, the way that they film is nostalgic. The way that they're trying to brand it is that way. The way that they film it, the way that, like, if you're gonna try to go throwback, dive in and trying to make it throwback. And that's what I feel like NWA is doing on a fantastic job of. Like, hell, if we're going to go there, let's go there. We're going to put it on YouTube at 6:05, just like how NWA did it back in the day. We're going to have it in a little studio. No gimmicks, no bullshit. You see what I'm saying? So if you're going to do it all the way. Don't half-ass it.
right. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. AEW, it seems like it's just one poor choice after another. And, I think we're maybe one Cody Rhodes away from Viagra on a full match.
I mean, I get what they're doing, and to me, some of their ideas is cool, like combining the AEW with the Jericho Cruise, and I see where the Bash at the Beach is kicking in on that. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I get the idea because I could hear people already getting ready to type. That's a shit. Why you shitting on? And yeah, it's a good idea, but don't tell me you're revolutionizing something and you're bringing back something from the dead, because the whole point of you being a revolutionary is to be different and to see different and have a different vision of something.
Right. Alright, and we are starting we will be covering NWA Into the Fire, our predictions for that paid preview, our predictions for Final Battle, Ring of Honor, and we might have some interesting things to chat about there. But right now, we are wrestling with the Wednesday Night Wars Week 10. Alright, Coleco, what were your thoughts on NXT this week?
To me, NXT is the better. It's the better. It's like, as far as stories, it's the better show, because what they did heading into Survivor Series and then post Survivor Series is that they made stars. They made household names. And they did it without having to, malign the other roster. Like Keith Lee is a guy that I see came out of Survivor Series really high.
Daddy, it's gonna be Catboy.
Which is ironic, because he was like the only person that lost.
It's gonna be Catboy.
Yeah, and even in losing, he gained something, because they put him on a level with Seth and Roman, and he was over like Rover. I will say they did Walter dirty, because Walter was over. Walter was over, and they got his ass out of there in the first 30 seconds. Like, get the hell up out of here.
What's your favorite food, Coleco?
Squash, and I know why they did it, because the longer he stayed in the match, the more shine he would have took away from Keith Lee, which was the guy they were wanting to highlight. So when people are kind of pissed off about Walter, that they had to get rid of somebody. They had to break an egg to make an omelet. So it makes sense.
Right, and it was this week's NXT wasn't bad. It was a good one. But it kind of seems like it's going on the longer side nowadays. It kind of feels like a 2-hour show kind of feels like a 2.5-hour show.
And that makes sense, because, because you got to think, NXT still runs takeovers. They run takeovers. So they want you to invest in these people. They want you to have these people matter. And the only way they could do that is to get these people more TV time.
I want it.
So it makes sense what they were doing, or why it feels that way, especially when it comes to, because it's not going to be another takeover till the Rumble. So yeah, it makes sense to draw the story out.
And on this episode of NXT, Kushida made his return.
Back from that Walter ass whooping, I see.
Exactly.
I shouldn't. But that tells you how good Walter was. He beat his ass into the next 3 months. But so yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like it was a wasted 3 months. Casino got his driver's license, so he was walking stuff out in America.
Hey, at least he was productive in his 3 months out, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of guys can't say. How many wrestlers could say they got their driver's license while they were injured?
That is true. I got squashed to death, but hey, I could drive.
Well, hey, they drive on the other side of the road in Japan.
Japan.
If they do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very considerate people too.
Oh,
Shout
yeah.
out Japan.
Incredibly nice people.
Shout out Japan.
Keith Lee, Tommaso Ciampa, and Dominic Dijakovic defeated the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly. So they're continuing, kind of rehashing old stuff from War Games already. But Keith Lee got the pin.
Yeah, and if I remembered it correctly in my copious notes, that means Keith Lee, Tommaso Ciampa, Finn Balor, winner is #1 contender for Adam Cole's title. And I must admit that's going to be an intriguing matchup because when you think of Tommaso Ciampa coming back, the first thing you thought was the feud with Adam Cole. And then Survivor Series comes in, Keith Lee comes out a freaking huge star, and now that throws the monkey wrench into everything.
And what about that tackle Keith Lee gave Adam Cole? He drew him into like the 6th row.
Oh yeah, that was like some. If you just look, it reminds me of there's a guy named Terry Tate, Office linebacker. They had those old videos. It looked like one of those videos. Like he basically knocked his ass out. It's like I feel like that should be a GIF where he like gets knocked and then you just see Adam Cole flying out of the atmosphere. That's how hard he got pushed.
And now let's swing on over to AEW and all the stuff that they're doing. What were your thoughts on AEW's show?
AEW action-wise is good to me. Their tag team, the tag team, they literally are. They got their tag team division hands down is great. That it is what it is. My only confusion is that they tell me at the beginning that wins and losses matter. So how is a guy who is winless get a AEW championship title shot?
They never said it was for the championship.
Yeah, he is Jungle Boy.
It's for the belt?
Yes.
I did not hear that it was for the title. I thought that was a one-on-one singles match.
No, I thought it was for the title because the thing is he has to defend the title. I will give him that. They're keeping that part up where he has to defend the title ever so often. And I get that they're going with him trying to coast to the end of the year without working hard to get the belt, and I totally get that. What I don't get is the simple fact that someone who is yet to have a win get a title shot. That is where I'm like, okay, but you just told me wins and losses matter. And if you look at AEW's website and you look at the wrestlers, Jungle Boy is winless in singles and in tag. So I'm trying to figure out like how.
He's actually in the hole. He has more losses than wins at this point.
Oh, he has no wins at this point.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So that's the only thing I got against it. But
let me ask you,
I mean that minor detail, but a minor detail, but a detail that goes back. If I'm remembering, okay, you're telling me stuff matters, then why the hell Neville, who, I mean, quality wins wise, got some of the most quality wins than anybody in that company, is not getting a title shot.
Right. Would it have made more sense if Luchasaurus, that as of right now only had one match that he won, fight Jericho than a guy that's had like 3, 4 matches that's lost every single one?
Uh, no, because I mean, to me, AEW is doing it right, as in making wins and losses matter to gain momentum to get a title shot. But the issue that I have with it is the simple fact that they you can't sit there and tell me that they don't matter, and yet, or they matter, and they got a guy who had no wins and no one's building momentum, and they don't have a ranking system or nothing of that sort.
Yeah, it's kind of,
No,
it's where the nepotism comes in, is the thing.
So that, I mean, to me, that is like where that's where I was at. But other than that, and that's like it's not the end of the world. Like, it's not like I'm going to stop watching, but it's something where you, as a person with critical thinking skills, you think about stuff like that. Like, even the Scorpio Sky getting the title shot. You know what I'm saying? You're
Right.
getting all these people from tag teams getting the title shot, and you're not really getting the singles people the title shots. You see what I'm saying? Like, they don't, to me, they're trying to build new stars by giving them title shots and make them look good in defeat. But the problem is, in your mind, you already know that they're losing. And I get what they're gonna say. It's not about going over. It's about getting over. However, as a face, the whole point of the face is getting over or going over. You see what I'm saying? So they haven't built, or I don't know who is gonna be a a a face that's going to be up to equal caliber with Chris Jericho. Because at this point, AEW, as far as I'm concerned, Chris Jericho is on a level on his own in the company, because there's no one really in his echelon where you feel like, holy shit, he might lose the match.
Only really Moxley.
But Moxley is so iffy, and when I say iffy, not like as a wrestler, but in his character, he's more of a unpredictable. They're trying to like channel like a Stone Coldish type deal, where it's neither face nor heel. It's just, I don't like you and I'm gonna kick your ass type deal.
Right.
So I get where they're going with it. It's just that, like, okay, you still gotta build that face of the company. Because as much as people shit on WWE about that, the one thing that they have established as a company, that it's a face company.
Right.
So you already know eventually the hero in the end, even if they have a bunch of formidable bad guys, and sometimes they do shitty with them, but at least you know that it's built that way by design, because they want their good guys to get over.
Right. And that makes sense, but we don't really know what the format of AEW is with the championships as of right now. Yeah, you have Riho, who's basically who's a face.
Yeah.
SCU's, who's all faces.
I mean, she's faceless in a faceless division. Us just not.
And then you have just Chris Jericho, which, in all honesty, could you imagine anybody else as the first champion except Chris Jericho? Because he's the biggest star that they have.
Yeah, I mean, true, but wouldn't that be like I mean, technically, there would be an indictment on them because keep in mind, it ain't like these shows just popped out on TV. They had 3 to 4 shows to build their stars. Because remember, we all thought that the person that was going to be on equal footing was a Hangman Page, and that didn't pan out. As for right now, it hasn't panned out.
And it kind of seems like Hangman Page is top of the mid card right now, which technically they really don't have a mid card, but that's kind of where he's placed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he's floating, and it's not like, and to my knowledge, it's not like a secondary title's popping up anytime soon.
Right.
So at this point, it's either you're at the top of the food chain or you're barely hanging, and that's what that's what it seems like, you know. And it's something where they got to find their way through. It's not like I'm gonna say it's not like AEW is gonna be in that mode forever. They'll eventually evolve because that's basically how it's gonna. Excuse me. That's basically how business is gonna go. But you know, it's just like they're trying to feel themselves out while trying to feel everything else out. And I get it. Build the fan base and then let the fan base kind of tell everybody else that, hey, this is awesome, and go from there.
Dave Meltzer said that Cody is the most over babyface in all of wrestling. What are your thoughts on that?
The most over face
in all of wrestling.
All of wrestling?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Uncle Dave maybe I drank a little too much for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, because I could think of Roman. Recently, Roman has been getting pops. Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, Johnny Gargano. This is just people that are coming off the top of my head. Who else? Ciampa might be over more. Keith Lee is definitely up there. I'm trying to, yeah. See, I just like 6 or 7 people off the top of my head, and that's just WWE. Not even going like like NWA, Colt Cabana is hella over. The Rock and Roll Express are all over. So you know, what I mean, he ain't the most over. He may be up there because of the way the storyline goes, and I guess that's where they're going off of, based off like he got portrayed and the beat down and the empathy and da 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 da.
Right now, you're right about like Ciampa, Lee, and Ripley. The only 2 that kind of came to my mind was Becky Lynch and Okada.
Oh yeah, I didn't even bring up Okada. I didn't even bring up Okada. Okada's the fucking man. Yeah, he's fucking Michael Jackson of wrestling right now.
I mean, he seems like he had the best 2019 of a lot of wrestlers.
Arguable. It's arguable. Yeah, we'll get to that year review. I could say I would say the people who had the biggest 2019 were Kofi Kingston and Becky Lynch, because what Becky did changed the business as far as the perception of women's wrestling. And yeah, she has some dance partners with it, so I could say Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda or whatever. But And I would say Kofi, because in a sense where it kind of broke a racial barrier, underlying racial barrier that most minorities knew, but didn't really want to confront it until it happened in the ring like that, and the way the story went like that, and it stoked up so much emotion from it. So those two I could definitely say, and that's not even like okay, and that may not be like the best matches. They may not have the best match collection of 2019, but they had the bigger, more important moments as far as gender and racial equity, if you will.
One guy I was thinking about was Seth Rollins, because at the beginning of this year, it seemed like he was the top guy. Nobody was bringing him down. Nobody was more hotter than Seth Rollins. Fast forward to November, and they turned him heel. And honestly, it works better
Look at your PJ Seeker.
because the crowd turned on him.
I wouldn't say the crowd turned on him. WWE fucked him over. And this is how. When they put him with Becky, that was a big mistake.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because Becky, as much people can say, hey, Becky makes me sick or whatever, and I'll admit I'm one of those people. She has a cult-like following that is unlike anything in the world. Keep in mind, they tried to turn her heel, and the crowd did not allow it to happen.
Right.
So that tells you like the cult-like following that Becky Lynch had, and when you have that, you have people who feel like she's one of us. She is one of us. So when you get Seth in there, who's not like one of them, it's like, how the hell? How dare you? And then he's dating her, about to get married to her, gives you even more resentment because the emotional and psychological attachment that the fans have with Becky.
So you think that it's just like kind of envy on the fans' part that he's with Becky, he's with Becky.
Yeah, I mean, to me, yeah, that's what it screams to me because of the simple fact that they put them together, they put them apart, they cheered them at SummerSlam against Brock, which, I mean, get it. And now all of a sudden they don't like him. You see what I'm saying? So you see what I'm saying? So that's the only correlation I could think of, because you gotta think at SummerSlam he was getting cheered out the building when he won the belt.
It's and WrestleMania too.
Yeah, so it cannot be because of his wrestling.
Right. Well, because Seth Rollins is one of the best wrestlers in wrestling right now.
Oh yeah, Oh yeah, skill wise, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
He is, yeah, he's there.
Alright, so NXT favorite match or segment?
Favorite match? What, this Wednesday?
Yes.
The Keith Lee match, because it had the Calamity in it. Finn Balor jumped in, tried to jump in. And that's kind of started the beef between them, to set up the beef between them three, and it's just building the tension that's going to happen eventually between Ciampa and Lee.
Okay, Daddy?
Okay, buddy. So yeah, it's building up that tension that's going to have to happen during the triple threat match. And that's the tension that I really want to see, because are they going to go with Goldie or bask in this glory? So it's going to be an interesting one.
And what was your favorite match or segment from AEW?
Let's see. AEW. Well, it wasn't anything the women did, and that's a bad sign. I just feel like that they should just. I feel like that their women's. Uh, they got to do something with it, man. They got to do something with it. I think it
You
was
don't like
more
doing
the
it for
mock.
you, Coleco?
Well, if you know me, I am one of these dudes. Like I like women's wrestling. Like I feel like they get a bad rap because people just don't either care or they don't believe in it. But to me, it I I, I guess to me I give them the benefit of the doubt because I feel like that they doing nothing no better than I can do. Uh, I think to me, back on your thing, um, maybe the Moxley Janela match. I'll say the Moxley Janela match and the what is it? The Dustin Rose and Young Bucks match because it's the Dustin Rose Young Bucks match kind of as a continuation. They just kind of threw his brother in there, and it gives him something to do, which I felt like they kind of like put him to the wayside when all this shit was happening, even though
Yeah.
he came out and helped his brother. So it's good to see him,
It seems like
get
he's
some.
owed a match with Jake Hager at this point.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, well, at least they got Hager in the background on TV. Like this guy was like nowhere to be found for a hot minute. So it is what it is, though. It
And
is what it is.
so you're going with the Janela match.
The Janela, I go the Janela Moxley man, because Moxley is on a roll. He is actually kind of on a roll, as much as people, even though he's like middle ground when it comes to his character, because it just seems like he's either I hate everybody and I don't give a damn, or I'm just gonna beat everybody till I can't. I'm the last one standing type deal. But that's how he rolls, and people love him now because shit, WWE, you got like he was the worst motherfucker on the planet. But funny how that works.
I I agree with you on the NXT. I chose the six-man tag between Ciampa, Lee, and Dijakovic in Undisputed Era. My my AEW pick would have to be the Chris Jericho, the Lexicon of Le Champion, as it's called.
Oh God, I mean, yeah, I get it, but damn, that boy just pulling the hell out of them. He's pulling the hell out of those goddamn lists, man.
I
List of
mean,
a
I
thousand
enjoy Chris
holds.
Jericho. He's one of my favorites.
Oh
And
yeah, I mean he's up there. He's a legend.
all right, which was the better show?
Me personally, I like I said NXT because they're continuing a build from something, right?
Right.
They're continuing because the one thing and I always say that the like NXT. The one thing everybody say about WWE is like, oh, they get somebody hot and then they just stop. But after once Survivor Series hit, you see them actually utilizing those people and putting them in positions to be on a rocket. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And the fact that it was all intertwined with um, war games and then them having to team up to be on the Survivor Series camp, and now they're back in their internal feuds. So it's kind of good that Survivor Series actually happened that way because it kind of gave you the whole you're my enemy, but I'm gonna hold off for 24 hours till I get this shit straight. But I'm coming to whoop your ass as soon as we done.
I
type
agree.
deal.
I choose.
And that's what I like. Enemy of an enemy is my friend.
I think they're both really different.
So
Well, WWE seems more, NXT seems more of a big production show. NXT kind of has more of an easy feel to it.
it does because they're not over bogging it. But I say that because they don't have a grand ass stage. They want to make it feel intimate, and that's by design. They may not have like 8,000 people from West Virginia there, or 6,000 people from West Virginia there, but at least they have a core constituency that is there, and it makes it feel more personal, more intimate.
I'll go with NXT as well, just because the quality of wrestling is a little bit better. Where AEW is still trying to get there. They're not there yet, but it's
Yeah, they're
promising.
not there yet. And there's no knock on AEW. It's not saying that they're not there or whatever. It's just that you can tell, and this is where everybody like, why are they always working house shows? Because because what's on TV right now,
Right.
the chemistry matters like that. And that's where, like, yeah, I like AEW because they have different matchups that people haven't seen them more before. But the fact that NXT actually have those guys go around, or they went around Florida, hell, they went around, or they actually tour the country now. So the fact that they actually could go out there and they actually do these shows, it shows that the chemistry is there. Therefore, they feel more comfortable. That means it's less botches. That means nobody's looking stupid, like somebody forgetting to pull a referee's leg at the end of a match. So you see what I'm saying? So
Right.
and that's not like putting a knock on nobody, but you could tell like the importance of practice per se. And like Allen Iverson said, what is this practice? Yeah, practice matters, and it's showing with NXT.
They're actually coming to our neck of the woods next week.
Are they?
Yeah, in Riverside.
Oh, if I didn't have finals. Oh, if I didn't have finals. Oh, if I didn't have finals.
Alright, and that
Wait a minute,
concludes.
is it like a Friday?
It's a Thursday, I believe.
Fuck, I got a final. All right, never mind.
Maybe you could sneak out.
Fuck, I was like, yo, maybe I'll take my final and haul ass. By the time I get there, the show's over. Like shit.
Well, hey, Chara Expo with the New Japan is this week as well. Actually, today and tomorrow.
See, those are more manageable.
Yeah. Okay. That concludes our coverage of the Wednesday Night Wars. We are wrestling with NWA Into the Fire.
Power, yeah, the most watchable show ever. Point blank. Period. Like I don't give a damn what nobody say. That show is the easiest, the greatest to follow. It's so, and then sometimes it's so cheesy that it's good. So,
Oh yeah,
great. I love Power. Love everything they do to Power. And the fact that they got Melina out the woodworks. Nice move, Power. I see you.
let's go with the first match on the card. The Question Mark versus Trevor Murdoch.
Question mark. He's over like Rover. Question mark's a bigger face than Cody. Shit.
It's because his mother is nature and his father is the wind, apparently. Corrupted.
I know they say it's funny because they say that as he's like walking through the hallways of a building down the elevator shaft. Like, come on, man. Come on. Don't lie to me, bro.
Eli Drake versus question mark 100%. Eli Drake versus Ken Anderson.
This was a harder one to do because I mean Eli Drake's already had a couple matches, a couple wins. Anderson, he's had a couple matches too, but tag. Eli's had a couple more singles. I'm going to go with Eli because Eli is the way that he's being positioned. He's one of the cornerstones, and I just to get him over it, I guess to keep the feud going. So I would go with Eli.
I agree because he's maybe in position for a title shot down the line.
Yeah, maybe the NWA. I'm thinking the NWA or the United States champ. So
I was thinking right to the top, Aldous.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
yeah, that's a rocket. That is a fucking rocket. That's a rocket, boy. Woo.
Coming out of the old retirement home, the Rock and Roll Express will defend the NWA Tag Team Championships against the Wild Cards, Thomas Latimer and Royce Isaac.
As much as I like the Rock and Roll Express, this gotta be the wild cards, right? Like,
I mean, yeah.
I mean, the whole point is to get them to get it back and probably do something very malicious, and or at least that's what I see. I theorize the match going good, they cheat to win, they get the belts, just to say that they're the greatest tag team and they beat the greatest tag team. Because I think they were better on the chase because everybody was fucking chasing them. So, you gotta continue to chase.
The Rock and Roll doesn't need to be afraid of a visit from Rey Mysterio. They need to be afraid of a visit of some other guy.
Yeah, the last person they're worried about is Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Or that they should worry about is Rey Mysterio. El Vato Loco.
Colt Cabana versus Aaron Stevens versus Ricky Starks for the NWA National Championship. Now, the National Championship, low-key, one of the nicest titles in wrestling right now.
Yeah, that thing, they really went old school. They took that shit way back with that one. But Colt Cabana, he just got the belt. He was a former champion, so he's solidifying the reign. And I mean, he's a good hand, great hand actually. So yeah, I see Colt Cabana doing some comedy shit, Superman role.
It's just kind of weird that Aaron Stevens, who maybe got one win by nefarious ways to get into this match, and maybe they go Aaron Stevens because of that reason, get some heat on him, but
Oh,
I would be
like the
surprised
gender?
if Cabana gets it.
Oh, I call that the gender now. You win one match and then you get the title shot and then you win the title. I call that the gender, the Mahal.
Is it the Mahal or the gender?
I want to say the hindered gender, but people always say don't hinder the gender. So I'm just going to go with the Mahal.
Alright, you heard it here. You win one match and then the championship, you just got Mahal.
Yeah.
Alright? Allison Kay and Ashley Vox versus Melina and either Thunder Rosa or Marty Bell. First and foremost, who do you think is going to be Melina's partner, Thunder Rosa or Marty Bell? And then who wins?
Uh, Marty Bell. Here's what I'll say. If it's Marty Bell, Kay's winning. If it's Thunder Rosa, they're winning. And the reason I say that is because they're shaping Rosa to be a contender.
Right.
Or at least a big significant part, especially when they're doing docu-series about her and like her MMA background and so on and so forth. So I feel like that if she's the partner, they're gonna sneak a win out of it. If Marty Bell, I think it's just about the revenge that Allison Kay gets on Marty Bell because they were, personal friends, and she's got to get the comeuppance anyway. But I just got to figure out what they're doing.
Let me ask you
with
this: who needs to win?
Who needs it? That's a good question because it's not like all of them took a horrible loss. You know what I mean?
And Melina's probably the most recognizable name out of all 5 roles.
Right. And I would say the only reason I would say Allison Kay I say Allison Kay for Marty Bell because the whole thing that it's personal and she needs to get her revenge. That's where I see that. I may not see her getting the win, but I see her getting like personal or getting some kind of end result where she is getting her hands on her and beating the hell out of her. Thunder Rosa, she might get the win so she could get the title shot because I thought that they were going to do a title match between Marty. I thought initially Marty Bell, Sienna, or Allison Kay title match. But now with this whole dichotomy, this M. Night Shyamalan twist that they just did in the women's division, yeah, so Thunder Rosa would come out the contender because I don't see. I don't know if Melina's going to be wrestling long. I don't know how long she's going to be there. Is it temporary? Is it just a one night only thing like the Rock and Roll Express? You know what I mean? So we just got to see where it goes.
I say Thunder Rosa is the tag team partner, and Marty Bell is at ringside and costs Allison Kay the match.
Or that. Or that could happen.
Alright, that brings us to our main event. Nick Aldis versus James Storm in a best 2 out of 3 falls match for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. The first fall will be Tim Storm. The second will be Brian Hebner. Actually, Tim Storm will be the second, and Brian Hebner will be the first.
Let's see. I think, and they've been tricky with this one, especially with the manager Camille. So it's kind of weird. It's really weird. I'm gonna say Aldis wins. I wouldn't say 2 in a row. I would say he probably loses the first, have to bring his medal back on the second and third. And that's how I see it. He has to win 2 in a row to win.
Yeah, I think Tim Storm is definitely going to play some type of factor in this match. Which makes no sense because he's James Storm's father, which we've covered on the show before. We've made it a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Aldis makes the most sense. They're building the company around him and what he's been able to do. So
I know, and they
makes
basically
sense to take the belt off of him right now.
Yeah, and it makes sense. He's the man.
Alright, and that concludes our coverage of NWA Into the Fire.
Into the fire!
And we are wrestling with Ring of Honor Final Battle, which could be the final event ever, the way things are going for this company.
Yeah, and that's a far cry from how it was like
A
even
year ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Not 3 years ago, even three. Yeah, you're right, a year, because New Orleans, they were there. Yeah. So yeah.
Angelina Love versus Maria Manic.
Mm, love.
It makes sense to go with Manic, but Love is besties with Velvet, and Velvet is with Bully. So yeah.
There you go. See, 6 degrees of separation, baby.
Jeff Cobb versus Dan Maff.
If there's anybody that needs to get some bounce back, it's Jeff Cobb.
Oh hell yeah.
Like he needs it, because I mean, losing the title, losing the match against fucking what is it, Matt Taven, losing the title match, Matt Taven caused a little downward spiral in the G1. Yeah, he needs it. He needs it.
But definitely. Villain
So
Enterprises, Marty Scurll and Flip Gordon versus Bandito and Flamita.
um, this
Really
is
have to think
tricky
about this
in
one?
the sense that is this Marty's final match?
I believe it is, yes.
And that is where it go. To me, they're losing. I think it would have to be like a Villain Enterprises losing and disbanding.
Well, they can continue it with them kicking Marty out of the group.
True, but I mean, he's the reason it's Villain Enterprises.
That is absolutely true. They could.
As,
I just want to know what happened to Brody King because I don't see him on this card.
that's a good question. I don't know. That is a good question. Might have to look into that. Maybe he's on a missing milk card in first 48. Let's find out.
Hashtag where's Brody King?
Where's Brody King? Have you seen Brody King?
That bring. I'm going with Villain Enterprises. That makes the most sense to me. Shane
It
Taylor
it.
versus Dragon Lee.
Whew, that's a good one. Shane Taylor's been having beef with ROH lately, so I could see this as him losing, and he's thinking ROH is fucking him over enough as he already is now. I could see it going that way.
Um, I
And
don't see
especially
Dragon Lee
considering
staying
that,
with Ring of Honor, so I'm gonna go with Shane Taylor.
but Shane Taylor has been back and forth with the TV title, wanting to leave as well. So, you know what I mean? It's one of those things, or at least that's how it was in the summer.
Right.
And that was the impression that I got.
Matt
You
Taven
know, so.
versus Vincent.
Taven, he's a former champ. Get back on the horse. He lost a rush. He needs to get back on his feet.
Yeah, and he generally does well in Final Battle as well. I just want to know
So
what happened. What happened that Vinny Marcellia is fighting Matt Taven at Final Battle? I haven't been keeping up with Ring of Honor.
oh, they're on they have their shows on Fight TV. For those who can't get it live, because I'm one of those guys that are in that. We're in that area where like we don't have Sinclair,
Right.
where it's like an extra channel, or whatever. But Fight TV has they show
Well, it's not
free
that I can't
episodes of
get it.
Ring
I
of Honor.
just with all the wrestling that's on TV right now, and them being so low on the totem pole, it's not really worth it for me to watch.
That part. Yeah, and it doesn't help that like Fight TV puts them there on a Monday when more people are more inclined to watch Raw on a Monday. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, I get it.
Mark Haskins versus Bully Ray. Haskins, right?
Yeah, but it's I could see Bully if he had the pencil, he has the pencil. So I I would yeah, I'll take a gamble, Haskins. I'll take a gamble.
The Briscoes versus Jay Lethal and Jonathan Grissom. That's a
The
no-brainer for
goddamn
me.
Briscoes. The goddamn Briscoes. They are literally like they'll be there till the company closes at this point. Shit.
Them boys from Sandy Fork.
Hell yeah. The boys. So they'll
Roosh versus PCO for the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship.
Roosh. He's the man. He is the guy.
It just
PCO's gonna give him a PCO's gonna give him a hell of a
it just goes to show you where Ring of Honor is right now. That they're giving PCO a title shot on their biggest card of the year.
yeah, but I mean yeah, I get that point. But you know, you don't wanna feel like you're recycling it with the Jay Lethals and the Matt Tavens. Um maybe a Briscoe could go up there, but the Briscoes are seemed more destined for tag teams. They do need. That's why I felt Jeff Cobb was like a guy that need to really get back on the horse, but so he could build his stock up to hopefully get a title shot. Or they might go with Shane Taylor. He's basically the de facto number one contender, being the TV champ. You know, so
Right. You know, his stock might rise more now that Marty's leaving for Ring of Honor.
that that too. So I mean, it's a lot going on. So it's a lot. It is a lot, my man. A lot of wrestling. Good time to be alive.
Oh yeah, that's why it's a great day for wrestling. And that concludes our coverage of Ring of Honor Final Battle. We will give you all the results and everything that happens for all these shows next Saturday at 5 o'clock on Castbox and YouTube. And if you want to tell us what a good job or bad job we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, leave a comment. Please push that like button, push that subscribe button, and you can follow us on Twitter as well. You can find me at JamesJ993. Where can they find Coleco?
I am Coleco. Give a shout out to the Mania Club, man. This is a group they done like fundraisers uh, to donations for Connor's Cure. They're really big they're really big in the wrestling community, raising money for pediatric cancer. Donate if you can. I'll probably throw a link in. I donate myself as well. It's good always to be giving and taking care of others.
And you could find Mitch Mayhem at Mitch Mayhem X. And you could leave your condolences to Scooter Dust at Scooter Dust.
The gong will go off and then Scooter will raise from the dead.
And for my co-host Kaliko Yachts, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling Wit. Entertainment.